really gross, dude.
Yeah, and
Why are you just touching your tongue like that?
because I had a hair on my tongue, Connor. That's what happens when you have facial hair.
I wouldn't know.
No, yeah. I don't expect you to know what facial hair is like because out of the two of us, me being the only one with facial hair,
Right.
I just have to deal with so much of the struggle and the pain and the beauty. I mean, there's pros and cons to having facial hair, but
I mean, if you're okay with looking like you don't know how to take care of yourself and just
right.
not having enough respect for yourself to get up every morning at 7:30 and shave like I do, you don't have the discipline, and that's okay. That comes with age. I know you're still just a young little baby boy, and like
Right.
it's just not going to happen for you yet, and until at least you're in your 20s, because I know, like I said, you're a young little baby boy who can't do anything.
Young little baby boy. Back in when I was in Ocean City, they made us shave every day, but there were some supervisors that didn't care as much, right? And so originally I was on a detail with a supervisor that didn't care as much. And so I let it go like a little stubbly. Like we had to clean shaven every single day. We couldn't even have a mustache. No, we might have to the corners of the mouth, but I didn't like just mustaches. So we had to be like completely clean shaven every day. We would have to wake up early and shave. And sometimes I just didn't feel like it. So I would come in with a little bit of stubble. And the supervisor that didn't care as much, he was like, "Hey, I don't care. Like, it's not a big deal. If it was just me and you, I wouldn't care. But my boss is coming around during this event. So tomorrow, clean it up real good." And I was like, you know what? Just for you, man, since you were so chill with me, I'm not going to clean it. I did end up coming the next day with a nice clean shaven face. Gross.
My senior year for military ball, I was dressed up in my navy blues, so those nice like uniforms that are black, not blue, but whatever. And I take a picture outside. I'm really feeling myself. I got all my medals on perfectly. My epaulette is on. Got my cover is perfect. I take a picture because I'm feeling myself in the sunset. Post it on my Snapchat story. One of my friends swipe up on it and goes, "You remembered to shave, right?" I look at the mirror and like I didn't really have a lot of facial hair yet, but like it was enough that if I had showed up to the military ball, it would have been a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
And that wouldn't have been a problem if I wasn't halfway to my date's house already.
Yeah.
And had to drive back home to shave.
We were like day 2 or 3 or maybe like week 2 in the training for Ocean City. And so like the first couple days, they didn't care at all if we were clean shaven or not, because we were just in the classroom. We were just kind of learning. So this kid kind of started growing out like a little goatee, and it was like week 2, and they take us to PT. And we didn't know we were going to PT that day because they kept it a surprise. And so we start walking, they're like, "Oh, we're just going to take you to the next room for whatever else." And we start walking, and eventually I just look in the gym next to us, and there's these people jogging. And I'm like, I think I recognize that person. Oh no. And so we turn the corner and I see us going into the gym, and we're the ones jogging around while the drill sergeant's screaming at us.
I know that guy.
And
that guy was me.
And the kid with the goatee Oh my goodness. We got lined up and he, like, this drill sergeant got all up in his face and started screaming at him for not having a clean shaven face. It was wild. I think he came in the very next day still with the goatee on.
Bold. Bold.
Right. Like, he still had the goatee on, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna get in so much trouble.
Well, as long as we both agree that neither of us should just have a mustache.
Never in a million years. I have been doing the thing where I like kind of shave just the beard a little bit shorter and keep the mustache growing out a bit, to have just like a little bit thicker of a mustache. But I think that's looking good. I don't think just a mustache looks good though.
Not on anybody, especially firefighters.
I mean, Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck might be the exception here.
Firefighters and Tom Selleck. Welcome to the Garlic Boys podcast, where we treat friendship like a good recipe treats garlic. You can never have too much of it. We are your hosts. I am Connor O'Connor.
And I am Mustachio, the mustache villain. That's me. I've come to steal all your mustaches.
That's your big plan.
Nick Offerman, get ready. I'm coming for it. Did you see that Pringles commercial where the guy has a Pringles can and he's like trying to get the Pringles, and then the Pringles can speaks to him and is like, blow into the Pringles can. So he blows into the Pringles can and a big foghorn blows, and all of the mustaches from everybody, including Nick Offerman, who is in this commercial, gets ripped off, right? And start like butterfly flying, or like little bird flying all the way to this guy with the Pringles can that blew the foghorn.
I had not seen that, and that is wild and dumb.
Hey, you're telling
I'm not a fan of that.
Pringles marketing department. Yell at them.
Do better, Pringles marketing department. That doesn't make me want Pringles. That makes me feel bad for those mustache men.
Yeah, that's fair. And the wild part is, like, yeah, it has nothing to do with Pringles at all. Like, I know the guy on the Pringles can has a mustache, but what does it have to do with Pringles?
Like, he does other things though. Like, he's not just the mustache man on the Pringles.
What do you mean?
Well, like, he has a life.
No, he doesn't. He lives on a Pringles can. He doesn't even have a body, Connor.
No, he has a body.
Incorrect. The only thing he does is exist as a head on the Pringles can.
It feels very limiting of someone that you don't even really know, man. Like, you're just making assumptions about this guy's life.
I'm not making any assumptions, Connor. That there is no, like, he is the mascot, and there is no, like, out of can mascot. It's just the guy on the can. That's all.
Yeah, all you're doing is painting him in that small little square of just saying this is all you can be, not all that you are.
That's all he wants to be. Obviously.
How do you know that's all he wants to be?
Because he's done it for like 50 years.
Okay, just because you do something for a long time doesn't mean that's all you want to do.
Has he voiced his opinions?
No, because they've silenced him, Matt.
Have they?
They won't let him speak.
They didn't.
When was the last time you see him hold a press conference?
They didn't even give him a mouth.
Tony the Tiger gets to express his opinions.
That's fair. That is fair.
He lets you know if he likes what his food brand is. And I will tell you, we all know he thinks that they're great.
Yeah. Hey, there's a company out there called No Jingles or Mascots. I think they're like an insurance group or something like that.
Northwestern Insurance or something like that.
Right. We need to boycott them because they're putting a lot of really, really hardworking mascots out of their job. The jingles I don't care about. You know, people can write music for other people, but the mascots, come on.
Well,
Poor guys
jingles
just
are
wanna work.
such an important industry in our world. I mean, without industries, we wouldn't have had, or without jingle industry, we wouldn't have had the character that Charlie Sheen plays on Two and a Half Men.
Excuse me?
Oh yeah, that's how he got rich. It was just writing jingles for commercials.
Oh, you're right. I do remember that. I haven't really watched that show like in its entirety. I do remember. That's wild though. And I listen, jingles are the best way to get kids on board. You know, you want to market to children who can't afford to buy anything, so they make their parents do it. You put a jingle in there, you know what I mean, or some fun, memorable name like Fushigi.
Fushigi. But it's not just like, I mean, there's more to marketing than just the jingle and like a fun
Disagree.
name and everything.
If you have an earwig of a jingle, you're set. You're set for life. There are still products that I remember to this day because of their jingle.
Right, the jingle is part of it, but there are other things too.
I don't know.
That we take part in that process.
What are you talking about? We don't have a jingle.
Yeah, but we have a catchphrase.
We do have a catchphrase. Do we? Oh, yeah. Stay garlic. Man, this just, you know, I just know so much, Connor. I just have so much going on in this brain that I can't possibly call forth everything when I choose to call forth everything.
You can't call forth 2 words that we have said weekly for the last 3 years.
It's muscle memory. You know what I mean? Like whenever you say and remember, it's like a sleeper. I'm like a sleeper agent. It's like a phrase that just awakens me, and
you get winter soldiered by me saying and remember too.
Yes,
that's what you're telling me right now.
I get full on winter soldiered by you saying and remember to, and that's just, you know. And but am I going to remember it outside of that? If Mia comes up to me tomorrow and says, and remember to, I'm not going to say stay garlicky. It's only your timbre that makes it so that I can say that.
And so if a fan sees you out in public and goes, hey, Matt, stay garlicky, you make, what's that idiot talking about? This is ridiculous.
Exactly. They're going to be like, and remember to? I'm like, fuck you.
Why? Well, you couldn't just give me a simple thing to edit. Now I have to do that.
Yes.
So I have been packing and repack. Like I've been going through stuff and packing because I want to be able to move when it's time to move.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to like take time, you know. Plus, we're moving into her house, and so like she has storage, so I can start moving some things early. And I found my Snuggie.
I see that.
And I don't remember if the Snuggie had a jingle, but it's still comfortable.
That's good.
And what's fun about it is I do feel like a discount wizard while wearing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I kind of have to like hold my arms like this when walking so that it stays on my body.
Yeah.
Because this is a little smaller than I remember the Snuggie being.
Yeah. I think Snuggies were a decent idea, right? But I feel like the
also has a pocket.
Actual conception was poor, right? Like it's great to like have a like to wear a blanket essentially. Like that's great. But like the fact that your entire back is just like uncovered. I know if you're like sitting down, it's not that big of a deal. But like I would want, why don't you just make it a full body suit, right? That I could just like slip over my head, put on, and voila, I have just a full body suit. And
that is called a onesie.
It is called a onesie.
That already exists.
Right, but not like a Snuggie. I want all of the onesies I have are pretty like tight fitting. They're like pajamas, you know what I mean? But I want a onesie that is just like a full-on wizard's robe that I could just wear over top of me. The sleeves are extra long, so if I want to bundle up my hands, I can. And my feet will be covered, and so will my back.
That's a robe. You're talking about wearing a robe.
No, because robes
That is
open
a
up.
bathrobe.
I don't want a robe to open up. I want it to be completely covering. I want to put it over my head. It's essentially a really long hoodie.
Okay, then just get one of those blanket hoodies.
Yeah, that's way better than a Snuggie. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they're finding two different markets. You can't just say, "Oh, this shouldn't exist because I don't want it."
Well, no, I can. I can say that. I may
then
be.
Men should die because I'm not attracted to them.
Exactly. If that's how you feel, buddy, you can feel.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you have such extreme feelings on things.
Yes,
Why do we bother growing asparagus? Nobody eats it. Well, sir,
I love
30 million people buy asparagus a day. Well, I don't, so what's the point of having it?
Right, but I love asparagus. We can do that with broccoli. We can burn all of the broccoli from the planet. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No, we can't kill flowers like that.
Why not?
Because we need them.
We don't need specifically broccoli. Broccoli isn't the only source of whatever it provides you.
I mean, technically it isn't, but also if you haven't watched the Bee movie yet, you should, because it kind of proves my point.
I was a child the last time I watched the Bee movie, which honestly I probably shouldn't have been. That is a full-on adult movie in kids movie drag.
It's a good movie though.
It is. I remember liking it, but it definitely is an adult movie in the kids movie clothes.
What is adult about a bee wanting to have a human relationship with a human woman?
That's bestiality, if anything.
Bestiality.
Exactly. That's I planned for that the entire time. Can I?
If you were gonna have sex with one animal,
I don't want to tell you what my very real answer would be.
Gorilla.
Don't dox me like that, man.
We spent 5 minutes looking at gorilla feet 2 weeks ago.
What's really funny is if you're watching this on youtube.com/@thegarlicboys, I have a bunch of lemurs behind me. It's not related. In fact, it is not related. I will tell you why I have a bunch of lemurs behind me, because it has to do with G-spots. I have a G-spot this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't done this in a little bit. A garlic spotlight.
Only a lemur can get through.
I
didn't finish my discussion on Snuggies.
I don't care about
because you're complaining that your back is open. But if you're laying down or sitting on a couch or in your chair or whatever, your back is against the chair, so it's not exposed to the elements.
But your upper neck, like right here at the base of your neck, that's open, and it's just like room for drafts.
Ready to see this? Boom. Completely covered.
Not anymore.
Oh, if I pinned it back, it would be.
But it doesn't come with the proper equipment to pin it back. You'd have
This is also made for a normal sized man. I am twice that size, so of course it's not going to be properly. Okay. Right. Do you know how many blankets I have in this house that fit other people perfectly fine, but I can't use because it only covers my legs?
Agreed. I may not be the tallest banana in the bunch, right? But throw blankets, they maybe cover my legs. Like I can't cover my torso and my legs if I wanted to.
I'm tired of a 5x5 blanket. I want a real blanket.
Yes, I need at least a 6-foot blanket to have a little bit extra room. Because obviously the foot of my head doesn't matter. Right. Oh, tell her thank you so much. This looks incredible. I got dinner. Thank you. Could you
in front of me?
Mwah! Since you didn't want to give me a kiss. Yeah. Today we have a spaghetti and meatball and salad and breadstick. You eat in front of me all the time, but I also eat in front of you all the time. So it's a catch-22 here.
I don't think that's what it is, but okay.
What were we talking about? How much I hate Snuggie? Oh, throw blankets.
We were talking about blankets, yeah.
Yeah. No, they need to at least be 6 foot long and like honestly, like 7 foot long, 6 foot wide. That's like the ideal throw.
And also, like, I like the idea of being able. I'll take off a blanket and like expose my legs a little bit if I get too hot and everything. But like, I shouldn't have to choose whether or not my legs are covered or if my torso is covered. I should get to I should get to choose. I mean, I shouldn't like have to have it determined like only one half of me gets covered.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if this is just like because most throw blankets are designed for children and women, or like what's going on, because this feels like a very like masculine thing to complain about. Not to gender this situation though, but like I've never heard a woman complain that a blanket was too small.
No, it's not a thing.
They fully burrito themselves up and they're perfectly comfy.
I think one of the things that causes that is that women tend to sit with their knees up, right? Tend to. Not always. It's not a solely women thing. But quite often women sit bunched up. The women in my life, I should say at least. And so they can cover their torso and their legs at the same time, right, with the blanket, because they're essentially cutting their torso out of the situation because their knees are up to their freaking head. I cannot do that because I have a gut. I can't sit bunched up like that even if I wanted to. So no, I'm not covering everything.
I bend my knees when I sit down. Like I bring my legs up and I kind of sit on my legs and everything.
Yeah.
Which I blame my grandmother for. I always saw her do it, so I started doing it, and now it's the only way I can really sit comfortably.
Fair.
But like I'm not super flexible enough to bring my legs up like that either.
Yeah.
And every time I see it, I still don't understand how it's comfortable.
Me either. My sister, when she was young, she would sit essentially like on her feet. Her butt was not touching the chair at all. Like she was up, like I don't even know how to describe it. On her squatting, essentially, instead of sitting, she was squatting. Like a Slav squat.
An absolute Chad.
Yeah.
So it's very unfortunate that you were about to talk about lemurs and now you're eating, and so you're not good with leading the conversation. And now I don't know what to do.
Do you want me to talk about lemurs?
Well, I can ask you a question, but I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to the question, so we might as well just talk about the lemurs.
Go ahead and ask me a question.
Have you watched the Thunderbolts yet so that we can talk about it?
Nope.
Yep.
You knew. I really haven't had the time to go to the movies. I've been wanting to very badly. But we can talk about The Rookie. Are you caught up?
I am caught up with the season finale of The Rookie. That was the last episode of the season.
Bean. Well,
what do you mean, beans? You didn't like how that ended?
I just want more.
Well, we're getting more.
In like 2 years.
Well, yeah, but still, we're getting more.
Remind me, spoilers, before we start documenting anything. How did it end?
Wesley, Lopez, Gray, and Nolan get called to some meeting with a bunch of the alphabets.
Yes.
And Garcia at some sort of city hall or something like that. I don't know.
Yep.
And it's to discuss the fact that not Rosalind Dyer,
whatever the redheaded lawyer lady is,
the other hot redhead on the show.
Yeah, fair.
How she has come to do an immunity deal to get Oscar back because she's the one that helped Oscar escape and everything like that.
Yeah, she is messed up. Like she's been a really, really good like villain type character, antagonist, if you will. She's got problems. Okay.
She's manipulative.
Yeah, for sure. So
Okay, do we want to talk about 17 and 18?
I want to talk about specifically the one character that I know we both want to talk about.
About how you were wrong and I was right, and
I'm not wrong yet.
You owe me an apology.
I'm not wrong yet.
Yes, you are.
The character didn't die.
Yes, but there is no indication that he is a serial killer.
Or is
there isn't?
How do we know his leg got fully amputated?
They said it.
Yeah, and they also said he had cancer, Connor. How do we know?
They said he didn't have cancer.
No.
Yes.
The reason he came back, yes, now, because the doctor that he paid, he literally said it in the episode, he paid the doctor to lie for him, right? To lie that he had cancer. And now, because he came clean and the doctor was, I don't know, they didn't say he got specifically arrested, but that the doctor lied to him as well. He said he knew he didn't have cancer, and he was just lying about it. How do we know he didn't pay a doctor to say that his leg was amputated?
Because we see the amputated leg.
When
he's laying in the hospital bed, when he and Tamara are talking.
He has a blanket over top of it.
We didn't see the leg. What are you talking about?
I don't think we see the leg, Connor.
So you think he's lying about having an amputated leg?
I do. Why would they bring this character back
for
one
that's
episode?
Something that they could check to be like, oh, the leg is technically gone.
Nobody checked. Did anybody actually check?
Yes, but the episode was not about building up his relationship with everyone else. It was a conclusion of his relationship with everyone else. But what it was to not only give us more character growth with Chen, but also with Tamara. Because Seth and Tamara were dating. And so that caused tension with Chen, which brought Bradford into it and brought Selena and Raj into it.
I just don't know why they would bring a character back for one episode just to shoot him in the knee and take his character off the show all over again. Why not just leave him off whenever they fired him?
Why bring back Skip Tracer Randy just for him to get Chastity kidnapped and then have her only save herself? It's because sometimes there's episodes that are standalone.
No, I think there's more to it than what we assume.
I think you just want there to be more to it.
Yes, because he's a despicable human being and he deserves to be.
So he lost his leg because of it.
It ain't enough.
That's not enough. He doesn't get to have the job he wants. He doesn't get the girl he wants, and he doesn't get to have two legs. And you think he should suffer more?
Correct.
You're demented.
So is he.
That's messed up, man. I get he's a TV character, but I don't know. This changes my view of you as a person.
As if you haven't said some pretty messed up things in your life too.
Yeah, but I don't say them publicly online.
That's the difference between you and me. I'm not afraid.
That's my secret captain. I'm quieter than he is.
Can I tell you about lemurs now?
We didn't really even talk about the episode.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Sorry, I'm distracted by my spaghetti.
But we have Nolan figuring out where Oscar is going to be after his escape last season,
and then like a dummy leaves his window open.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they would have been smart, which I know they both are, but because of plot issues, they could have just had the window closed and maybe not been so dang obvious, and he wouldn't have seen them and they would have caught him.
I did like they used we'll call it Chekhov's drone, because we see Nolan almost get hit with the drone once they get to the motel,
right?
And then the teenager hitting Oscar with the drone is what helps Nolan escape and everything. I will say, I know I just pointed out how demented you were and everything. I thought that kid was going to get shot.
Oh, for sure.
I was like, oh, she made such a big deal about making sure he was going to be safe and everything was going to be fine. And I thought that was going to be like the big thing that like ended this season, and like this plot is like, oh no, her storyline is because she's pretty much all about police reform. Like that's what her story is. And now you have a police officer getting a kid killed on duty and everything. Like that would have been as messed up as that plot line would have been. I think that would have been a great plot line for
Nyla.
Yeah.
I do want to point out though, speaking of a kid getting shot, the DA's kid getting shot.
Oh yeah. That was like crazy.
He ended up being fine. Obviously, they said he would, be fine, pull through all that. But like, I thought he was gonna die. I really did. Like they're going up against this really big like gang, prosecuting
the Southern
gang.
Front.
Yeah. And the gang comes up and like starts threatening Wesley, starts threatening Angela. No, they don't threaten Angela. That was the YouTubers or whatever.
Yeah.
But they start threatening Wesley. They start threatening the DA, and the DA's like pushing back real hard. And they're going to take the kid into rehab, his son into rehab because he's hooked on some sort of drug, and gets shot on the way. Like right in the neck.
They haven't even left the house yet. They're still parked at the house.
The DA, really awesome, by the way. Like
has a gun has a gun.
Super cool. I thought this guy was awesome. I haven't liked him very much throughout the seasons, but in this moment he was pretty cool. And then he gets back in the car. He's like, "All right, the cops are on their way." Blah blah blah. And then sees the kid like blood spurting. Sorry. Sorry for the graphic imagery. Wild stuff. That was crazy. Never seen that side of that character, the DA.
These few episodes were really good.
Mm-hmm. I watched them all together because I was missing. I kept missing the days to watch it, and so I watched it all at the same time.
One thing I want to talk about with The Rookie as like a show, though, is it's very weird about what characters it remembers and which one it forgets about.
How so?
Like, because you have Skip, Tracer, Randy coming back often. You have Chastity coming back. We don't see Pete, but he's mentioned, so like he is still technically a character there.
Right.
But like you have so many characters that aren't mentioned anymore that were kind of big deals. Like Alan Tudyk's character and Nell.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're fully not remembered anymore. Armstrong isn't really brought up anymore, even though he was a bad guy, but he was important in like John's development as a character.
I think they've mentioned it once or twice because of like what happened. But I got you.
But then like Jackson's barely brought up anymore. His dad has come back maybe once or twice, but it wasn't really like discussed and everything. Like the captain, there wasn't like a new captain that was brought in. They just made Gray in charge of everything. And then you have them do things like oh no, what was my point? Oh, but you have them do things like Garza, who is the FBI guy.
Yeah.
They canceled the rookie feds.
Yeah.
And yet they're making sure that Garza still is like relevant and it is like remembered within the universe. And I get that it's like easier to have this one guy from that universe, but also like I think they had a few FBI agents earlier in the season that were both like the agents from that show that wasn't Niecy Nash.
The main girl that was like the main character of the rookie feds. We've seen her one more time, like since she split off into the feds.
But we've seen pretty much every main like field agent from that show.
Right. The one thing that gets me is Nolan's son.
Yeah.
They have not talked about him or brought him up. Like I would figure in all of this adoption stuff that maybe they would like try and call him and just like say, hey, we're planning on adopting a kid, but they have not even once.
And they didn't bring up Henry again or Abby until the documentary this season. Like there was no discussion what happened to them as a couple. And like the biggest character, the biggest one, I'm gonna say it, is Ben. Yeah, that's the right look to give me. Ben was Nolan's best friend that was letting him live at his house in season 1.
Right. Oh my god.
Then gets like jumped in season 2, and then we haven't seen again in 5 years.
I totally forgot about him entirely. You're so right. That is why. Yeah.
And so like it just feels it feels so weird that like there's this breadth of characters, and yet they are able to bring back like the Western Front or the Eastern Front in there as like a good like villain group to go after them. Yeah. They brought back Raj after his performances and kind of made him into a real character, and that's cool and that's fine. But like you make all of these characters important, and then you do something like introduce Dr. London in 3 episodes and then make her a villain out of nowhere.
Do you want me to be? I want to be completely honest with you. I hate Raj as a character.
Me too.
He's probably my least favorite character in this entire show, and like I don't even mind him. Like he's kind of annoying. He's actually really annoying, but like I wish they would have like he should have been kept as a side character in my opinion. He should have just been like a recurring side character, but I guess it's fine. It's whatever.
I mean, he technically is a recurring side character at this point.
I wanted him to be like the
just the mysterious.
Yes,
the mysterious man singing in the corner.
I wouldn't have even minded if he had like gone on a date or two with Selena, a date or two, but becoming like a full-on boyfriend, I'm not sure. I don't think that was the right move, in my opinion. But what can I say? You know what I mean? I'm not. Maybe there are people out there who love him. Maybe, probably not, but maybe.
I think we've had worse boyfriends on the show. Like I wouldn't say there's particular characters like I hate that they were a part of it. Like people like hate on Chris, Chen's ex-boyfriend and everything, but like I don't know if he was a terrible person. He messed up once and sang the song that like she sang while she was in the barrel. But like he cared about her. And like he almost died because of that relationship. Like I'm
trying to remember who you're even talking about.
He was one of the DA assistants that was like helping prosecute Rosalind and Caleb.
Yes, I do remember who you're talking about. Okay, didn't he get his arms all cut up? Like he was in there and got his arms cut up. And she was falling for Bradford at the same time.
She was going there to break up with him.
Yes, and he almost got murdered. That was crazy. Wow. This show has taken some turns, but I do, now that you've called attention to it, I'm going to never stop thinking about that anymore. Also,
they had a full-on riot on April Fool's Day and then never talked about it again.
I think this show, so the thing I think this show hits and misses is the time jumps between episodes, right? Sometimes it's literally like a day or a week. Sometimes it's like 2 months, you know what I mean? So like, and maybe that gives them an excuse to not, recall certain things, you know what I mean? 2 months after April Fool's, you're probably not still talking about it. Like there might have been some new policies put in place or something to that effect. But 2 months later, you may not still be talking about it.
I'm going to say 2 months after a full-scale riot where the city is on fire from overhead shots from the helicopter.
I agree.
You might still see damage. It's not going to just look like a normal city again, though.
Yes. I think there should still be like callbacks to, damaged buildings and stuff like that, or excess trash and I don't know, like stuff like that. But
I mean, it's been 2 weeks here since we had that big rainstorm, and we still see trees and everything down.
yeah,
Like that next episode might have been a week or two later because they just talked about surviving the fire, I think, or
yeah,
I don't know. Like you said, the timeline's strange on it, but like no one's talking about that.
yeah. That's like the literal purge happened in LA, but to be fair, LA's pretty crazy. I know
Yeah,
the purge is like a big jump from like normal LA crazy, but like they probably just forgot about it because they have so much other garbage going on.
I just feel like sometimes they're like, yeah, like in the idea that action is going to happen, we have to suspend the fact that this is supposed to be a realistic show.
Right.
Like they kidnap Charity, and Randy calls out for people to go out and try and save her and everything like that. Okay, that's fine. They have those bounty hunters that they're trying to rescue them, and they're like, okay, we can't engage with them unless they engage with us. And then they start shooting at the cops with
Yeah.
like,
Wild.
dude,
Why would they do that?
All you have to do is save the girl, work with the cops, and you'll get your reward. Now you're just trying to kill cops because they want to do a fun the stunt guys want to do a fun chase scene on the motorcycles.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, sick scene, loved it, great to watch. I always love watching a mall get blown up. But like it came out of nowhere. Like there was no reason that they should have felt threatened or like they needed to kill them.
I mean, however million or whatever, like whatever amount of money, it may not be a good reason to engage cops, but like, hey, I want that money for myself. You know what I mean? That's a pretty strong motivator.
Yeah, but like you slap a sticker on their helmet and you have Bradford go, "Oh, that's Delinko's men." I can tell by that sticker. They're ruthless and they never trust the cops.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like, and then they're like, "What do you mean they never trust the cops?" And then they start firing on them.
Right.
Just feel like it just, I don't know.
Listen, rookie. We're here. You can hire us. We'll be your continuity writers, right? So like we won't write the stories. We don't need to write anything. We'll just be here to tell you where you're messing up. That's where you'll hire us.
We can be your lore keepers.
Your lore keepers, the lore masters,
the loracles.
The loracles. We'll be your loracles, and you will pay us to just keep the lore.
I don't even need to be paid very often. If I can just hang out with Nathan Fillion, maybe have him meet my mom. She loves him. I need a stepdad. Like there are options that we can go for here. I'm thinking about starting a dating app for my mom.
Oh, really?
Like a profile, yeah. Like I think I might do Bumble because then I can talk to them first.
Oh, there you go.
Plus, I don't need old men being creepy.
Are you just
gonna me on my mom's behalf? You know?
Are you just gonna set blind dates for your mom? Be like, hey, mom, you want to go to dinner? And then like she just like meets this random guy instead of you.
I will present her options and be like, okay, what do you think of this gentleman? He has liked us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to swipe right on him as well? And she says yes, and then we start having a conversation.
Okay, so she'll be part of it, right? She'll be
for the most part.
You will.
I will have first rights at like getting rid of people because unfortunately I have more experience on dating apps because I was a sad and lonely man before I found someone who made my life worth living.
Shout out.
Shout out to Autumn. But like, I don't know, I think it'd be fun.
Maybe. Can I tell you about my G-spot?
I'm sorry.
that one hurt actually coming out. I have a garlic spotlight, and we're done talking about the rookie. So I would like to talk about it.
Yeah, but what about your cheese ball?
My what? I said my G spot.
Okay.
I said,
Sorry,
can I tell you?
You're buffering. You're buffering, and all I heard was, "Can I talk about your cheese ball?"
I'm buffering. You're buffering.
There's only one person on my Wi-Fi right now.
There's only one person on. That's not true. There's 5 people on my Wi-Fi, but I'm hardlined in, right? I have a Ethernet cable directly in. Excuse me, I'm not even on Wi-Fi technically. Okay.
Your internet speed is still slower by someone else using the network.
Disagree. Okay, so there is a guy on TikTok. It has nothing to do with lemurs. I mean, it kind of does. There's a guy on TikTok, right? His TikTok handle is Lemur Brain. Have you watched his videos? I believe I've sent you one of his videos. This guy has burrowed into my brain like a parasite.
We are currently at 29 messages that I have not read from you.
Oh yeah, I think I'm. What am I at from you? Wait for it. Oh, I'm only at 14.
So
but
if you send it to me within that time period, I have not watched it.
Okay, but that's fine. That's fine because I have him up. You mother trucker. Why do you do this every?
I don't know why you forget it every single time.
There he is. Have you seen that man?
Does not look familiar in the slightest.
Okay, this is Lemur Brain. this is his entire account. That's literally his whole account. But wait, watch him do the. I don't know why this guy is an earworm in my brain, but he just straight-faced cheetah twerks on TikTok. And that's his entire. I haven't gone back right through his entire catalog of videos, but literally it's like I'll see his video and then I'll scroll to the next video and it's another one of his videos, just in a different location and a different outfit. That I don't know why it's coming up on my TikTok so much, but the like head jiggle thing, it's so top notch. I can't get this out of my brain. So thank you, Lemur Brain. You have become an earworm and an eye worm. You've completely overtaken my senses, and I want to thank you, but also want to punch you because you have taken over my senses. That's my G-spot. There you go. I bet he feels honored to be my G-spot.
Probably. I've been watching The West Wing lately.
Again?
Yeah.
Jeez, man. You need to like get out of your comfort shows and go watch something new.
How's Bob's Burgers treating you?
I don't watch Bob's Burgers anymore. I do, but like very seldom. I don't do a watch through of it.
Uh-huh. Psych.
Nope, I haven't watched that in a while either. Mia and I finished it, so we haven't, like, even the movies and everything, so we haven't watched it in a while. She also gets very like over shows quickly.
Is she still watching the old school Scooby-Doo movies?
Yeah, she is. She still watches those. We actually, for the first time, watched a new movie. It was new to her. I watched it, the Ghostbusters Afterlife. We watched that one, and we have the Ghostbusters, whatever the newest Frozen Empire that we are planning to watch whenever we have a moment at home. Because neither of us have seen that one yet.
If we want to talk about movies, I can give you an update on the movie list. We're about 5 months into the year. I have watched 29 movies.
Wow.
It's not where I wanted to be at all. My goal is to watch 150. So yeah, I'm only about a fifth of the way through.
Yeah.
But my goal is to watch 12 movies in the theater. And I've watched 4 in theaters so far this year. My 4 in the theater movies are Captain America: Brave New World, Novocaine, Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, and Thunderbolts.
Nice.
But just haven't watched a lot of movies lately.
That's
mainly because I've been okay. So I haven't even been watching a lot of YouTube yet. Today I was catching up on like pretty much all of the YouTube videos I missed this week because I have been watching a lot of the West Wing, but also I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross.
Bob Ross is incredible, right? Like he just takes over.
Like I listen to him while I'm at work because I cook, and so like I'm alone in the kitchen. I don't have to listen for somebody else to be in there, and like I'm fine if safety tips, blah 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 blah, blah. But I listen to it and it's fine. It's calming. It's noise, and like every once in a while when I get the chance to sit down and like I'm doing something, I can look up and I can watch it and see the technique and everything. Be like, I could probably paint that, and then remember I have absolutely no skills in art, and then move on with my day.
Yeah. I've always wanted to follow along with Bob, but find it impossible. Not impossible, right? Like obviously I could do it, but like I'm too much of a perfectionist. So if it didn't look exactly like or better, which is impossible, than Bob Ross's, then I would probably burn it.
Fair.
Yeah. Mia wants me to paint our bathroom door, and I'm like, sure, I can paint it. Is it gonna be done this decade? Probably not. Not only because I will keep forgetting to work on it, but I'll keep redoing it. There will be like 8 layers of paint on that thing.
You know what my favorite thing you ever drew was? There's this Lego set that came out recently that was the Gotham City skyline. And like you could see like the villain hideouts, and there was like Easter eggs to them all over the place and everything. And I mentioned that because when we were in college, you once drew this little picture in your notebook that I think was the Spider-Man logo. Like the word Spider-Man with him swinging, and then little silhouettes of all the different villains that you could draw. So like Octopus is 8 legs, but like they were minimalist drawings of them all. And it was really good, and I really liked it.
That's wild because I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, to be fair, I have saved a lot of my drawings, so maybe just maybe I saved that one, and I can go back and find it. Who knows? I draw a lot. I draw a lot, especially when I'm bored. So, it's not insanely likely that I will remember every drawing that I've ever done.
That's okay. Well, you know what time it is.
What time is it?
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of The Garlic Boys. If you'd like more from us, you can check us out on social media at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. Then you can head on over to patreon.com/@thegarlicboys, and you can support us over there for as little as $3 a month. Promise it might not seem like a lot, but it is to us, and we really appreciate your support because it lets us not only make this show, but our other fun shows as well, including the Clever Boy Quiz the Show, which we are currently working on season 2 of. And we are working on bringing you more of TBG One Shots in whichever way that looks. So if that doesn't tease you to help us create shows, I don't know what will. If you support us for $10 a month over on Patreon, you get bonus content specifically for TGB One Shots because there's a lot that we do with that. If you'd like to buy merch and designs based off of things that Matt and I have said over the years that were designed by Matt and I, you can head over to our Redbubble store and purchase some of those over there, including stickers, aprons, and even a mouse pad.
Oh, mouse pad.
And then you can you can use that mouse pad to use your mouse to click on over to youtube.com/garlicboys to find video versions of this podcast and season 1 of the Clever Boy Quiz, the show. Matt, do you have a supplementary mom report for this week?
I do right away. Do you? Do you need to think?
You know what? You can just start talking, and I will figure it out.
Nyla Harper's mom. She was in one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
last few episodes of The Rookie that highlighted how the elderly commonly get scammed. She was a
And
very
I
sweet lady.
think that was the first time we met her mom, too.
Yeah, pretty sure.
And because of that, I think I'm going to go with Lopez's mom, who is Nyla's mom's best friend, apparently, which is funny. And I like that a lot, and hope to bring down the person who scammed Nyla's mom.
Yeah, that's good. She was pretty bad. Can't say that. She was pretty cool.
She's one bad mother. Shut your mouth.
There you go.
Any final thoughts on this episode?
I don't know, go to therapy or something. Stop listening to us.
Thank you so much for listening, and remember, as always, to
Stay
garlicky. But like, I think you would really like The West Wing, because not only does it have Dule Hill in it, it also has Martin Short, or not Martin Short. Oh no, Martin Sheen. And he gives a monologue better than I think any actor of that generation. Like, he's so good at it.
Martin Sheen is like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben, right? In the Amazing
Andrew Garfield one.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's good. I haven't seen him in anything ever.
He gets shot on The West Wing too.
Oh man,